100% need the gold dust, but I'm saving it for the better weapons, because, as we said, due to the game having a weird point of no return, there's 2 gold dust that are basically impossible to get without getting locked at that point, and that always bothers me. Power slash.
I love when you power slash those things and they... and that's what Godhood is for.
Anyway. So. Back to what we were trying to do here. It should be pretty obvious you're supposed to... Oh, God, him.
You know, I would love to know, like, what the actual characters along the side say.
Hold on. Go back.
I think someone translated those in its standard, like, kill and death.
Ah, damn it, I do that every fucking time. I try to counter these guys, and I'm usually good at it, but you have to time the...
Like I said, it's... He does the building up.
Suplex, bitch!
He does the building up, so you basically have to do it when he raises, because you power slash.
Who cares? That's an enemy type I really don't like.
Later on, we'll get the ability to deal with them really easily.
Yeah. But nothing stops you from doing this the entire game.
Because, like, some of the enemy types in this game that are kind of known to be annoying, part of me honestly believes it's because people don't really think to use the Celestial Brush techniques in combat. Because, like, outside of these guys requiring you to, outside of these enemies requiring you...
Could you stop, you jackass?
Like, outside of them requiring Bloom, up until this point, nothing has required a brush technique in, like... Yeah, that's the problem with Cherry Bomb. I said, it was about half their health. It's hard to hit them, but it is possible. Like I was saying, I feel a lot of people, they tend to not... I feel that they tend to...
Got him!
I feel they tend to not really think about using the Celestial Brush in combat, because if you're playing the game completely blind and don't, you know or understand the demon thing, you don't really have a lot that teaches you can do that, because this goes back to a thing I have said for years about conveyance and tutorials, which is...
You're supposed to do that mushroom thing again, but on the climb up, I walked past some items on a ledge. Hold on. I want my items on the ledge. And...
Holy bomb.
How are we doing on upgrades?
125. So we could get more life, or we could wait.
Now we're even! And the extra hit's always good. This game is a perfect example of conveyance, which leads to, like... Oh, that worked. Nice. A lot of people really do forget that conveyance in a game is key, because I've watched a bunch of streams do blind runs of various games, and, I don't mean this as an insult, but this shows a conveyance thing that's just kind of funny. This one... Oh, actually... Make the point in a second. I want to show something kind of cool.
What?
You can... Damn it.
You're too far away.
You can power slash them from an angle, kind of before you walk up, and it sort
It
of...
would have to be around here.
There we go.
See?
I'm trying to skip some dialogue.
Ah, speedrunning tech.
He points out the jars.
Mm.
He can't point them out now. I skipped dialogue. I was trying to show a speedrunning sort of trick, because skipping that dialogue, basically by skipping it, you could go a little bit faster because the game isn't pointing out, oh, these look suspicious as hell. And we get 20 brays. Now back to the point, I don't mean this as an insult to the person, but it's a conveyance. Yeah, I'm in. I remember there being extra dialogue if you had walked up to the jars, but could be remembering that wrong, but I don't think so. This person, it was a stream, and it was someone who had never really played traditional Zelda, and they had never really played, like... Oh, damn it. Getting tongue-tied, but... They had never really played traditional Zelda, so because of that, they had never really played, like, 2D top-down or some 3D Zelda, and that led to this really interesting thing, and it's a good point in the argument of conveyance, because they had never really experienced Zelda, they borrowed the Link's Awakening Switch remake, and some basic Zelda rules that are so commonplace in my mind are basically something that they never thought about, and they struggled with some very basic mechanics that they struggled with basic mechanics that I never thought anyone would struggle with, simply because they've never played that type of Zelda, and that kind of...
Funny. Now, I'm sure there are some written guides somewhere on the internet that have pointed this out, but this is just something I find funny, given that the Mega Man Zero and ZX collection came out. Because that collection came out, and because the games are known for being hard, like, Capcom themselves have actually produced official guides for several of the bosses. Right now, they've only covered most of the stuff from 0-1. I don't know, like, if they ended up covering anything else. But one of the bosses in 0-1 was this elephant boss, and he has an attack where he would roll into a ball and basically become a wrecking ball, swinging left and right. People didn't know you could break the chain he was swinging from. They showed... the official video from Capcom showed you could do that, and people in the comments were like, "I've played this game since it came out, and I never knew you could do that."
Conveyance is key, because
nothing in the game really communicates that, especially with, and this is another kind of funny non-linear thing, 0-1 is non-linear in its mission order, so even if there were other bosses where you could cut off parts of their body and destroy them, because that is a thing throughout some of the Zero games. If there aren't any other bosses like that, you don't encounter them before that asshole, or at least you have the potential to not encounter them.
The player of a game is not 100% going to pick up on every instant of a game, but we're in a world now where fucking tryhards don't like tutorials, and a bunch of fucking tryhards that don't like tutorials will get hypocritically stuck by not knowing what to do, and then they'll complain.
Even though the thing no one ever addresses, because most people didn't have these when growing up, a lot of old games, if you go look at their manual, they cover all of this shit in the manual. Nintendo not only tells you how to play the game, but they had special illustrations to teach you that.
And what people forget, and this is something that's important to keep in mind, why did a bunch of old games not have in-game tutorials? Memory limits.
Yes. To call one Ted Woosley, English is a very chunky language.
No, but even in general, even in Japanese, a bunch of games, it's like, you put a text box here, I've lost a level.
That's why I said that. That's why he has that quote about English being a very chunky language.
It's the third, brother.
Mm-hmm. And I can actually cover what what these three are based off. They're based off the three wise monkeys: see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. And yes, there is a uncommon fourth one covering his crotch. Do no evil. Take that however you will.
I love the fourth wise monkey, the do no evil, is one of my favorites. That actually is a thing.
Right to the main point, like I said, you have essentially, even in the Japanese versions of games, like stuff where, even the Japanese versions of games commonly didn't have tutorials because of the whole limit thing, but with Japanese being a far shorter language than English, you could sometimes get a...
If you are really good... Bye, bitch!
Speedrunning skip.
It's the camera. I basically skipped...
Because, like, a funny thing is, this is another interesting...
I skipped to the top in 2 vines.
Yeah, because, like, another funny thing, and this is fascinating given another technical limit thing of the era it shows, I cannot remember what the name of the game is. It was an NES game made by, I believe it was Data East. It's that game where you play the, fat, fire-breathing Russian guy. I cannot remember its name. It starts with a K, but it's just fucking escaping me right now. Anyway, the Japanese version of that game, because Japan be like Japan for whatever reason, the story was that, the main character was sent on, a mission from a god, the basically Christian god, and with Nintendo of America standards at the time that had to be cut, but because the cutscenes and text from the Japanese version was cut, the US version has infinite continues. Because of the...
all the story in Dynamite Heady.
Yes.
Except that one line that is, oh, there's no boss here.
Which I feel like they left that so people wouldn't be extremely confused.
Oh yeah, I never actually touched this.
I really do want to know if technical limits are the reason Dynamite Heady's story was cut out, or if it was just Sega being lazy, because that game came out super fucking late in the Genesis lifespan.
So, the third stray bead, and this is always a bitch for me to remember the exact logistics, so this is really, really dumb. It's like you have to come back over here. When you're back in this area, there's a vine that's a grapple point in one of these back rooms. And I can never remember what exact room it's at. So, oh, there it is. Good, I found it. This is so stupid. But this has stuck out in my mind. So, you can get up here. And up here is a stray bead. I forget where the stray bead is.
Oh, look. There it is.
Cool. Okay. I couldn't remember what side it was on. And that's the 3 stray beads in this area. The one in the wall, the one behind the waterfall, and the one that's back up here. In this obtuse, impossible to see location. There's also the clover. Now I've got to go back. But they have shortcut vine points to get back up to that top area, so dropping down here to get that isn't even that much of a detriment. I just had to go back and get it. I couldn't remember where it was. The exact flower I couldn't remember. I knew it was there. This creates, and then, like, let me just grab onto that flower. It'll just be easier since that one's sort of loaded off camera. Also, if you need to, you can spin the camera and get the vines, which is how I did that.
For the most part, if it's on camera, you can grapple to it. It does have a range that doesn't work, it's just that range is very wide.
Because of that, you can, in general, if you pick the furthest flower, and just do that. Like, I'm trying to maximize movement by having the furthest flowers be...
Because one of the small annoying things, and this only becomes a problem later on, because, like, it's one of the small annoying things, it's only a problem later on, but because you are using a brush power to use these, as you can see, it does take up ink, so in longer, or basically, like, chains, and and now that you're up here, you have to
pull it off.
get connected. But anyway, like I was saying, later in the game, when you get to sequences that require you having to do longer chains, it can sometimes be annoying to, like, stop and, like, actually start waiting for it. But again, like a lot of things, that's only later.
Like, here I'm using a ton of ink, but I'm just trying to get a move on. So, that pops that out. With those lifted, you can jump straight down. And if you're playing this game and have the ability to get items pulled to you, and you just power slash...
yeah!
I got rid of most of the... Yeah, oh yeah.
Again, because of the whole, those are supposed to be, like, things for Souls of the Dead, because of that, you could possibly take it.
I want to show one dumb thing.
Alright.
You can leave.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And they're all back.
Yeah, and they all come back. So if you feel like you need to grind up...
It's not a lot of money!
Well, this is an easy way to grind...
Astral Pouch, honestly.
Yes. If you feel... Like, if your Astral Pouch isn't full for whatever reason, or you decided to dump all of your upgrades into upgrading those stupid early on, why would you do that, lad?
I'm not gonna sit here and do that. I just wanted to show that.
Yes.
It's good Astral Pouch.
Uh-huh.
Because Astral Pouch is auto life.
Yes. And by the end of the game, you get fucking 4 of them.
And it's auto life that doesn't take away from the minimum death count to get a perfect drink. So, that's the thing. Ink. And shit if you need it. More money, more ink, more food. I only have the one. You'll be able to cut through, like, a bunch of stuff if you really just want to knock, like, some random money and stuff. This is a point of no return.
For now. Because this is the boss fight.
And Golden Gate. He just straight up...
It's basically, because you're skipping through the text, Golden
Well,
Gates,
I'm reading kind of fat.
they're essentially checkpoints.
This is a... auto... Like, I'm walking through it a couple of times.
I said it's basically a checkpoint.
If you die here, you'll come back here, but if I were to cut the game off, I would be loaded back to that...
You load back to the other one, so, yeah.
No, you load back to your last save,
Yes.
which was in that other room. Boss time! Aha, yeah! Looney Tunes time, too. The butthole! Thumbnail!
That will get us demonetized. Don't do that.
No, it won't.
No, actually, seriously, don't. YouTube's weird with stuff like that.
Not if I put...
Someone apparently had to, because their thumbnail had, someone's ass on it, they apparently had to do a weird censoring thing to get it past YouTube.
I could just put the Okami logo between their legs.
No.
Yes!
No, it's just play the fucking game.
In case you didn't notice it before this point, that model's got a butthole on it.
There is a reason for it.
People, when they first notice that, that's all they can think about. This one...
Well, because up until we get to that point, it seems like it has no purpose, but it does serve a purpose.
This other blind run had a, reaction that people say was like, "That's a butthole! That's a butthole! Why is there a butthole?" Ah, yeah. I love this. One of my favorite scenes. Whoosh!
Oh yeah, the Matrix would have been stupid popular around that time.
That butthole. That's just there and it's hilarious. Foreshadowing.
Ha! Literally.
This is the spider whore.
The the English version just calls the Spider Queen, but the Japanese demon it's based off of, its name can translate
to the spider whore.
Or spider prostitute.
That's just a fun fact. I mean, you see the text box that says Spider Queen, I'm calling it Spider Whore.
Because, again, that's the name of the demon. I think my favorite name of anything from, any mythology ever is the alternative name for the Mother Harlot, which is the Whore of Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, first boss.
Not the hardest boss, but kind of annoying for a sort of...
This is the point where the game's brush and camera lock-on can be kind of finicky.
This boss... First, common trick no one thinks about. You can do this.
What you have to do...
You can get behind her.
What you have to do is hook the flowers on her giant spider ass, and that results in a problem. As you can see, sometimes the hooks don't register. It's best if she's trying to jump like that, and basically the ass is pointed in the air. After you hook about 2 or so, you can get up and start wailing on it. You can power slash through multiple at once to do big damage, smack them to do big damage, or try to make a cherry bomb and roll it in. You want to jump off?
Damn it! I tried! I got stuck in a fucking air combo. Almost one cycle through, though.
Like I said, you can one cycle her if you use like a cherry bomb or something, but it's not that hard. You know, what just makes the boss hard is the camera being kind of finicky sometimes. Though a good thing about a good thing about like the Celestial Brush and whatnot is if you...
Oh yeah, that's a decent counterpoint. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. If you knock out the...
If you do that, you'll get stunned.
So actually, I'm glad we didn't one-cycle it,
because I've actually never seen that stunning thing. I normally kill her too fast.
Get back.
You're going to want to just run off.
No?
She's about to close.
Oh, come on! It's kind of funny, though. I know she was about to close, but I thought... I almost had it in 2 cycles. Bye, bitch.
I think the invincibility there saved you.
I haven't fought this boss in a while because I have this...
Well, like, what? The camera being kind of finicky is what can...
Hey, but I can show the stunning, and that works to a decent effect.
And then...
I mean, honestly, it's the first boss I have... Damn it.
See? Like I said...
It's
the game can sometimes be really finicky.
Why? What I should have done... If you want to have a really good quick kill, use an Infinity Stone. I just didn't want to waste one.
Or if you can get a cherry bomb into her, that can take her out. Like a lot of things, around half her health, and then you can power slash the rest. And that can one cycle if you're fast enough. You might need to do 2 if you do that at all. Comes down to how the
This isn't a playthrough of me one-cycling bosses. This is just a playthrough of me beating this game.
This is not an all Cherry Blossom no damage run.
There will be mini damage. This is just a... It's gonna be a no-death run, though.
There'll be lots of big Soviet damage.
I'm not going to die!
No, like real Soviet damage.
I'm not gonna die. I will take some damage, though. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, what did you think of the boss fight with the Spider Queen? In my opinion, this boss fight is kind of bad. I never enjoyed this fight because I find it awkward to make her vulnerable with the vines. I also feel like at this point in the game, your limited arsenal makes it incredibly awkward to actually fight this boss because dealing damage means you need to break every one of the eyes, and that can be kind of weird. One of the best ways to fight this boss is using items. I really should have used items in this boss fight. Unlimited ink is incredibly useful. And the ability to have an area of effect damage attack is also useful if you spam a few of those, because those can easily hit every eye, allowing you to kill this boss incredibly quickly, and I would highly recommend spamming items. I should have prepared a little bit better and had a few extra items on hand before we came in here. Vengeance slips also make you straight out invincible pretty much, and that can also be incredibly useful. I really should have used more items to offset how awkward this fight can be. Anyway, I'm rambling. You can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments. Or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord link, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I will see you all next time, so good night, everybody.